And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go visit our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're on Cheviot. They're in Cheviot on Harrison Avenue. They're in the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, but why would you need to do that when you can just stay at Hail Mary's? They have 27 TVs in the space, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house, and they subscribe to every sports package so you can stream all the games. Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. If you can't make it downtown to the Holy Grail for the official BCJ watch party, you can go to the unofficial, I guess, BCJ watch party, or the second official BCJ watch party at Hail Mary's. And while you're there, make sure you get yourself an ice cold Cincy Light. All right, Aaron. I had a volleyball banquet tonight. So you know what I'm doing tonight? I came home and I'm having an ice cold Cincy Light. Because those things, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right. It is, we're back on track. It is a 3 Keys Thursday. So, Aaron, what will the Bearcats need to do to exit Ames, Iowa with a victory?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Chad. First and foremost, the secondary has to answer the call. This team is going to throw the ball. And I don't know that this team has faced a team that throws the ball like Iowa State throws the ball. Dave touched on.
They're interesting. They don't throw it a lot.
They just have two receivers who are excellent.
Right. When they throw it, they throw it.
I don't want those two receivers to have over 300 yards is, I guess, what I'm getting at. And I don't know that that's going to be the case. I'm concerned, and you got to turn the ball over, man. You can't just have 4 turnovers.
Well, there's 4
interceptions. I'm sorry. 4 interceptions. I'm sorry. I'm still talking about the secondaries, but I don't know. They're going to have to play. I think they're going to have to play close to perfect. And it's going to be
their best game of the year. Yeah.
It's going to be answer the call. My second key, reestablish the offensive firepower. By that, I want them to spread the ball around like we did early in the season. I want them to find the deep ball like we did early in the season. I want them to rush Corey Kiner like we did early in the season. And I don't want the defense to know what we're doing. And I feel like when you're only throwing the ball 15 yards at a time and you're running it fairly well, but when you run it and you're not going outside of that 15 yards, 18 yards, you can stack the box and it's not going to hurt you nearly as badly as what it would if you kept them honest. And I guess I just want to see.
I think something I don't know that we've touched on a lot. Like some of it is becoming very predictable. Pass on first down, run on second down, and then depending on whatever yardage situation is left, like you go from there on third down. But those first 2 downs, it feels like have become pretty predictable. And I think that can limit what if the defense has an idea, play pass defense on first down, run defense on second down, and deal with third down, like you're letting them get too comfortable.
And if you're not throwing the ball over, like I said, over that 10, 15, 18-yard mark, it leaves a lot of field that you don't have to cover.
Yeah.
My third key, minimize the mistakes. You cannot have a game like you did last week, or Iowa State is going to score 48 points, and you'll be left wondering what the hell just happened in Ames. It's a late game, and so I know they have plenty of time to think, probably too much time to think all day about this game. The field's going to be a little wonky, as has been discussed this week, especially with the time of day, with the seasonal change, with the way that the field is just in general. There's a lot that is kind of working against both teams, truthfully. But you have to be the team that minimizes the mistakes as opposed to the team that capitalizes on the other team's mistakes.
Yeah.
You need both. So that's what I got.
All right. Here we go. Keep contact. What I'm worried about in this game, and especially with Iowa State's pass defense, you cannot let them build a 10, 13, 14-point lead because it's going to be very difficult for you to keep contact, to not allow them to kind of pull away. You're going to need to be the team that kind of stays in front. What did Kansas have a lot of success with last week? What did Central Florida have a lot of success with the week before? They were able to get a lead. And I'm not even going that far. Like, I don't even think they have to play from ahead as much as they just can't be 2 scores or more behind, because this is not going to be a defense that, Texas Tech, they fell a little bit behind in that second half and they were able to crawl back in it. Colorado, they were able to crawl back in it. I don't think Iowa State's going to allow you to do that. So you got to stay within at least 1 score. Pound the rock. They are pretty banged up. This is something I saw on the board yesterday that I don't think Dave really hit on when going through Iowa State. They're out a couple starting linebackers. I do think he mentioned that. They're out a starting corner. A lot of their depth is dinged up. And, some of that could explain why that defense wasn't as good against Kansas as it has been for most of the season. They're not as great against the run, especially if they're missing starting linebackers. Maybe it's Corey Kiner time. We haven't seen one of those games of late where you just let Corey Kiner cook.
If they pass the ball on a short yardage situation on a 3rd down, I'm gonna freak out.
I was tempted to name this something else, but I went with just field position. Special teams has got to be better. And the offense has to be a little bit better. And on those drives, you don't, necessarily get in scoring position. You can't go 3 and out and continuously be punting from your own 20, your own 15-yard line and allowing the other team to have an average start position of their own 41. It just, and look, it has not been something that has been a major factor all season. They've been pretty good about it, but it was definitely bad against West Virginia. And they have got to get that back on track significantly and get the field flipped against Iowa State. Or Aaron, I know it's not time for our prediction yet. That comes out in the staff predictions tomorrow. I just don't feel great about this one. I really don't.
I don't think anybody does. And I think that's maybe where Big 12 just does what Big 12 does. And
hopefully,
I don't know, but I don't feel good about it either.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it can go a couple different ways. This team has not been beaten badly all season. That could happen, or like you said, it could be the Big 12 be the Big 12, and a game that we're kind of expecting not to go well. Cincinnati's got an opportunity late to win. And one of the other big factors, I think, for both of us is just stop making the catastrophic mistake. Like, just
well, the fact
that
you made that many mistakes at home, and now you're traveling to Ames where it gets pretty rowdy. I don't feel
good about it. Basketball a little bit. They take on Nichols tomorrow night. Nichols tonight is at NKU. Driving home from the banquet, listening to that game in the first half, Nichols was up 19 points. NKU is now up 3 at the final media stop of the night. So they scored 35? It was 35-25 at halftime. NKU 31-18 in the second half. The one thing that jumps out at me when looking at this, Nichols is out rebounding NKU 45-26. And we have talked about them needing to find a way to replace Dan on the glass, which I just don't think is possible. Like in terms of just like, okay, we put this guy in and now we're back where we need to be. So they're going to have to come up with a solution to be good on the glass. Because Nichols, that's kind of where they do a lot of their damage. They're not a great 3-point shooting team.
Not a great shooting team.
But
shooting
not a great
30%.
shooting team in general. But guess what? They go attack the shit out of the glass and they gain extra possessions that way. They try to play pretty fast too. I know the score doesn't really reflect it tonight because NKU is shooting 39% from the floor and Nichols is shooting 30% from the floor on the night tonight. So let me 62. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They have outshot NKU 62-48 in attempts. But the big difference there being is both teams have made 19. NKU is 19 of 48. Nichols is 19 of 62. Wow. So I don't get me wrong when I talk about this, Aaron. Maybe I've projected wrong on my feelings on this game. If Cincinnati plays pretty well, they're gonna win big. But you are replacing a starter. You are replacing a guy that is very important to the team. And it's against a team that, if you don't play well, can beat you. That's just kind of what I'm getting across. Like, if they are, kind of going through the motions and thinking this is going to be as easy as the first two, it's not going to be. Like, this team does some things that can give you problems where I don't think that existed with Pine Bluff and Morehead State. So I do think they'll win. I do think if they play well, they'll win comfortably. I fear that if they don't play well, we're going to be at the under 8 timeout and like, UC's up by 11 or 12 and everybody's kind of getting a little antsy because it's not the blowout that they were expecting. So that's just kind of where my thoughts are at on that.
I think they win by 25 plus.
Okay. Like 23 and a half, I think is the line. So you're right in line.
Nailed it.
There you go. That'll do it. We'll see you tomorrow night for the post-game show, the aftermath. And then we'll see you Saturday for the aftermath. It'll be a busy weekend. That's the nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!